What's up, guys, and welcome back to another edition of Competitive Edge Podcast. So today, this is a very special guest because you guys have heard me talk about Brand Builders Group, probably seen Rory on there, but you want to know who the brains is, the actual salesperson. I know Rory get a kick out of that, but we're going to talk about not only your brand, which a lot of you ask questions about, how do you build a brand in today's world, cut through the noise, which is, I would tell you, pretty loud right now. A lot of personal brands are struggling with how do they actually get to their ideal client. Not only the things that you want to know, but the things that maybe aren't shared on social media. We're going to talk about some of those, and then we can't miss out on the book I've sent to a lot of you, Wealthy and Well-Known. So Rory and AJ Vaden created that. They shared that recently. I gave out some free copies. We're going to give you guys a link to the audio later. But today we have AJ Vaden, who not only has been one of the top salespeople in her organization before launching Brand Builders, but has built her own personal brand. And one of the things that stood out to me we're going to talk about today is you don't have to have this massive following. A lot of people talk about you need hundreds of thousands and millions of followers to be successful, and it's just not true. And so some of the things that I've learned from AJ today, you guys are going to get an inside look and an inside kind of baseball talk to how do you build your personal brand and not only become wealthy, but well known in your space and enjoy the life that God called you to lead. So it's going to be fun today. Join us. Make sure you are ready and take some notes. AJ, welcome to the show.
I'm so excited. It's going to be great. Thank you so much.
I've been waiting. I'm excited for this because okay, we got to have you on. I come to all the Brand Builders events and you're always organizing things. I always watch you and your brain is working. You're answering questions. I was like, how does she do it all?
Well, I don't. Our amazing team does it all. Back to one of the things you said, it's, how do you live into the gift that God has called you to? And I feel like God gave me the gift of problem solving. And even as a young kid, my favorite thing to do was play Tetris. And I remember even as a young kid, when my parents would be packing the trunk for vacation, I'd be like, no, that's not how you do it. Or finding the way things fit in the refrigerator. Yeah. I have a unique ability to see, it's a blessing and a curse, to be honest, to see any situation and immediately go, that's how it should be. That's how it should be different. That's how it should be better. And like I said, that's a blessing and a curse for our team because I happen to see a lot of problems more than I do always what's working. But honestly, I feel like that's what happens when you live into what God created you to do, which in my world, I'm a really good problem solver, but I have an amazing team who's able to execute. So it's definitely not me. I can take no credit, but I do have a keen eye of where do things need tweaking and fine tuning and refining. And that's where my gift is.
Hey guys, it's Brian here. I hope you are enjoying the show. By the way, if you're an entrepreneur or a solopreneur looking to grow your personal brand, make a bigger impact, maybe increase your leads and grow your revenue, let's help you get started today by connecting up with my friends over at the Brand Builders Group. You've heard me talk about them, but if you're new here, this is definitely the first step to get you started in turning your reputation into revenue. Head over to freebrandcall.com/Brian Covey. Again, to set up your free brand call, go to freebrandcall.com/Brian Covey to set up a free strategy call with one of the team at Brand Builders, and they will dive into your specific goals for how you want to grow your personal brand. I can't wait to hear how it goes. Oh, we're going to talk about that today because you guys have helped me with my brand, and a lot of people out there how do I do this? How do I do that? And even today, we're in you guys building, which is super cool. And we get to create content here. Let's take people back before you actually launch Brand Builders. I know some of the stories of you guys back at previous company, and you were the top salesperson, you were doing all these things. And then you move into this world and this space. I didn't even know what a brand was when you guys started. I was like, brand? What is this thing? So let's go back a little bit. People may not know the journey, but the genesis, why you created it, what you were doing, and what launched BBG that we know now.
Oh my gosh. Well, we don't have time to go all the way back, but I'll take it back 7 years to May of 2018, which is what we would say is the genesis of Brand Builders Group. And people often ask, what made you start Brand Builders Group? How did this come about? And the honest, genuine truth is we did not start Brand Builders Group, God did. Yeah. This was a God orchestrated divine appointment that we were just brave enough, just faithful enough, just enough to say yes.
Yeah.
But this was genuinely a God orchestrated plan where he used different people in our life, people like Lewis Howes, who I can genuinely say this company would not have started without God using his influence and his willingness to help us.
Yeah.
It was using our former partners at our old company that, so what I say now, graciously fired me. The process wasn't gracious, but the divine appointment on my life was. And that's when I say, like, I'm living into my uniqueness today, it's because I can actually say for the majority of my professional life, I was not. I was doing something that I thought I had to do. I was doing something to prove myself. I was doing something to make money. I was doing it out of ego, pride, ambition. And those were things that were really hard to admit for a really long time. But if I was honest, a lot of why I was doing what I was doing was for the sake of my own personal worth. Thinking I had to earn it, thinking I had to work 80 hours a week, thinking that, you know, if I had this award, if I had this title, if I had this dollar amount in my banking account, well, then I would feel important. And the truth is I didn't. And then it felt even more empty because I looked around and I'd achieved all this stuff and yet had nothing to show for it. And then on May 4th, 2018, I got fired, real super fired, real fast. And all of it went away in 24 hours.
Wow.
Everything, 13 years of work, contacts, money, clients, poof, gone.
Wow.
Social media accounts, podcasts, email lists, our team, and in theory, my reputation. And I think that's where branding and the idea of a personal brand really became real, relative, and relevant to Rory and I, is realizing that what a personal brand is, it's the formalization. We say this a lot at Brand Builders Group, but it's the formalization, the digitization, and the monetization of a reputation. So the concept of personal branding might be new, but a reputation and a personal brand are synonymous, and that's not new.
That's right.
It's just the process of formalizing your reputation into a personal brand is what we have really invested the last 7 years in. And honestly, that all happened because of getting fired, of realizing that your email list could go away. Your IP could go away. Your social media accounts that you thought you owned are now up for grabs. Your team, your money, your clients, your contracts, everything could go away. Everything could be taken away. And yet, if you did it right, not perfect, but if you did it right, and if you invested in the right way, there was a few things that still remained. And your reputation was one of them, right? And relationships was one of them.
That's right.
And that is really genuinely how Brand Builders Group started, of realizing, like, okay, it's all gone. Like, this is our Cortez moment. The boat was burned. The boats were burned. There was no going back. How do we move forward? And we've been able to build it faster than we ever thought possible, bigger than we could have dreamed, and honestly, in a way that is for the first time aligned with our gifts. And that all happened out of a crisis, out of chaos, but also with a realization of, wow, there's a real revenue attachment to the power of a reputation. And most of us spend more time planning our summer vacation than we do our own reputation.
So true. I'm glad you shared that, because I didn't want to steal the thunder of your story, but I think a lot of people are going through that. Either they've had the I got fired moment, or my business collapsed moment, or something just fell apart in their life that happened. As you look back, and you even shared this, and I've felt this at times, like, you knew you weren't living what you maybe were called to do, and kind of playing small, some people might say there. Is there anything you look back and you're like, these are some of the signs, this is what I maybe would have done different? Could I have pulled myself out before, you know, the crisis hit? So somebody's listening going, man, AJ, I get it. Like, I'm in that. I want to make a change.
Oh, yeah. Lots of times. In fact, I had formally wanted to quit, wanted to resign 2 very formal times prior to this. And from a combination of people talking me out of it, showing me a path, presenting a future. But a lot of it really came with my own sense of, well, if I don't have this, then who am I? And the lack of clarity of knowing that my worth is not my work is what ultimately prevented me from doing that. A lot of fear around, do I really want to start over, even though I know I should? And a lot of it was tied with this whole concept of, well, if I'm not this, then what am I? And I think the lack of clarity around my identity and where my worth really comes from is what prevented me from making the move, even when I wanted to, even when I had brought it up, even when mentally I was ready to do it. Physically, I just never pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it was out of fear, but more of it was out of a misdirected focus on I am what I do.
Yes.
And it was so tied up into what I do versus who I am that prevented me from doing it.
Yeah.
And in my case, and by the grace of God, he did it for me. But because I didn't do it, and because he did it for me, it happened in a way that wasn't very pleasant.
Yeah.
And it took a humbling, and it took a heart reset. And I just, for those of you who are going through a moment like that where you think it's all falling apart, it's like, that might be true. But remember, in order for something to be refined, it has to go through the fire.
That's
and
right.
what I have just found in my life and in every single person's life that I know is that your character is built through the hardest moments of your life, right? And your story is refined through the challenges, not the victories.
Yeah.
And you know who you are, and your reliance and your faith grow in those opportunities if you allow it. Now, a lot of times it goes the other way, but that's because you allowed it. And every single person I know, and if I look back, did I love it? No. Am I grateful for every single moment of it? I genuinely am.
Yeah.
Because I would not be who I am and where I am today without some really heartbreaking and devastatingly tragic moments. And I think you have to look of like, okay, God, what are you teaching me past this?
Yes.
And some very great advice that I was given in that season when I kept saying, why? Why is this happening?
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, what did I do to deserve this?
Right.
And I just remember I had some very wise counsel in my life that said, you're asking the wrong question. Who cares why this is happening? It's happening for a lot of reasons, but who cares? Stop asking why and start asking, God, what do you want me to learn from this? What are you trying to show me in this? What are you trying to reveal in me and through this situation? Like, what do you want me to learn in this?
Yeah.
And the moment that I just changed the question, and it wasn't why this is happening or why are they doing that or why did they have to do this or why did they have to say that? When I just stopped asking why and I just started asking, God, what are you trying to show me?
Yeah.
What are you trying to reveal here? What are you trying to teach me? Everything changed. My heart changed. My approach changed. Our business changed. Our team changed. My attitude changed. My spirit changed.
Yeah.
Everything changed when I just started asking a different question.
Wow. That's a powerful one. I went through something similar. And so as you're sharing that, I'm like reliving. I'm like, I went through something very similar to what you shared, and it was Cinco de Mayo, so just one day off. And I'll never forget, very similar advice. It's like, none of that matters that you're asking. Like, you're just focused on the wrong things over here. And what I love out of yours, it's great for people to hear your story and know almost every successful person I know that's actually living in alignment today went through the crash and burn scenario in some way, shape, or form.
It's almost like you have to.
I do think it's a rite of passage in a way. Like, we don't want it, but it's almost like even with our kids. I know you got two boys. You don't want them to go through that, but you also know on the other side of that is this new creation, and like they learn like what they're really supposed to be doing.
Oh, it's so funny you bring up the kids because, you know, as any parent does, they try to prevent the kids from experiencing the heartache that we had. And I remember someone telling me, it's like, don't save them from their testimony. I don't save them from their testimony. They have to have that, just like you did. That's how you have your story. That's how you have your testimony. That's how faith is grown. It's how it evolves. And so it's like I had to keep myself in check even now of going like, am I trying to prevent a testimony? Like, am I trying to save them from their own relationship with God and what they were built for? And, you know, it's sometimes we just, not sometimes, almost all the time, we have to go through the fire in order to appreciate what we have.
Yeah.
And that's what I had.
That's the story and the brand, which I want to come back to. But you mentioned the word uniqueness. And I love this word because you guys, you teach this and you've helped me through this. And people out there wondering, like, what was I created to do? And all these, like, your uniqueness, and you've found it because you have this combination of like owner operator, but also sales skills, like blending these things. I always watch you work and I'm like, how do you have these gifts? But they're your gifts.
Yeah.
And then now you get to use them. If someone's struggling to find their uniqueness, I know you guys have a formula and a method to this, but people that don't know that, not part of BBG yet, how do people find that uniqueness and who they're called to serve?
Yeah. Okay.
This is cool.
Okay. So you started with it and then you ended with the answer. And I can't tell you how many times in my life I have asked the same question or had a conversation with someone who said this exact thing. I just don't know what my purpose is. Right? It's like, I'm trying to find my purpose. And again, the problem with that is the what. It's like, what's my purpose? What's my uniqueness? And if we ask that question, it's just the wrong question. And I think what people don't realize is that your story, therein lies your story is your uniqueness. And that you can only pull that out when you realize it's not a what, it's a who. Right? For all of us, our purpose, it's revealed in a person. Right? It's like we are created for a purpose, but more often for a person. And how you find your uniqueness is you find out what was the hardest thing you ever went through, right? What was the challenge that you overcame? What was the battle that you won? What was the thing that you're not in, that you're out of, right? And then you realize that there's a through line in all of that. There's something that resonates. It's something that got you through. It's something that you learned. It's something that's just inherently in you. And then you figure out what your real purpose is to go back and help the person who's struggling with that, to help them get on the other side to where you are. And there is no greater gift. There is no greater purpose than to know that you help change someone's life for the better. And I think a lot of us struggle with the, what is my uniqueness? And if we just asked a different question, it's, who do I feel uniquely called to serve? And it's the who, because the person that you're most qualified to serve, that your best position is to serve, is the person that you once were. Right? And for me, it's like when people say, well, then who do you serve? And it's like, I serve the person who feels unimportant, who feels unseen, who feels invisible, because they suffer from comparison. They look at everyone around them and think somehow everyone else's life is better than theirs. They think that other people are more successful. They look at Instagram and go, wow, they're happily married and they have this beautiful family and they do these things. And they look at theirs and going, well, mine's a disaster, right? Mine's a dumpster fire. And they look around and they cannot see the beauty of what they have because they're comparing it to everyone else. And that makes them feel unseen, unimportant, undervalued. And ultimately they feel invisible. And it's like, I can only speak to that person because I was that person. I can speak to them in the most direct, intimate, honest, truthful, and helpful way because I was them and I learned and was taught how to not be that anymore. And that is how we find our uniqueness, is like, what is that thing that we've overcome? What's the thing that we're willing to admit that I really struggled with? Because the problem that you solve most likely today for all of us who's listening, if you're going, well, okay, like what am I doing with this person? Like, how do I help them? It's like, well, you help them with a problem. Like, what problem are they struggling with in their life? And what problem did you have that you overcame? But it's all centered around a who. Now, we mentioned this in our new book, Wealthy and Well-Known. And so I got to just give one major props to Simon Sinek. I love Simon Sinek. He's actually one of my favorite thought leaders. And his whole concept, right, book, TED Talk, much of what he talks about is start with why. And when it comes to business brands, we 100% agree. Start with why. You have to have a rallying cry of a group of people when you're in a company. But when it comes to personal brands, that's not it. It's not start with why. It's start with who. And everything is built around the who. What kind of business you have, what your offering is, your pricing, where to find them, online or offline, the messaging, the problem. Everything you do is centered around, do you have 100% clarity and conviction on who the person is that you're meant to serve? And if you have that right, this is not an avatar checklist, demographics, and just psychographics. There's a lot of people go, well, I've done that exercise before. And I'm like, well, then we wouldn't be having this conversation.
That's right.
If you did it right, if you did it deep enough, intimate enough, we wouldn't be having this conversation. You wouldn't be asking me, where do I find them? You'd know. The challenge is most of us check that box because we think it's insignificant. And we're trying to reach people when we're asking you to reach a person. And if you focus everything on a person, not a group of people, it hits different. It's like, have you ever been sitting in church or even listening to a keynote and you're just like, oh my gosh, Have they been reading my journal?
Yeah.
Like, did like my husband call them? Like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Like, it's just to you. Like, I've walked into rooms before and I'm like, that was to me.
Yeah.
I don't even know if anyone else, if this relates, but that's because, they wrote it for a person. They had a person in mind. And that's what we have to do in order to really hit in our uniqueness, is we have to have a person in mind. And for most of us, it's just the person we used to be.
Yeah. Do you think that comes out of the biggest struggle people have faced sometimes, that they...
100%.
Okay. That's what I always pick up on.
100%.
And many times I find, you tell me this is right, that it's the struggle maybe they don't even want to share.
Most often.
Okay. So let's talk about that, because I found that in my own journey of like the things you don't want to share because of embarrassment and fear, and people will judge, all these, just like keep going down the list. And it's like, well, hold on. The more you share it, the more people are like, that was me. Like even our experience, like one day apart, different years, but I go, whoa. And I know your story, but it still connects.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the one people avoid. How, as they're building their brand, can they think about that as pulling back, like, which could be a painful moment in their life, and then to go, hey, you know what, this is actually going to be something that serves people, and just reframe it.
Yeah. So I'll tell you a slightly elongated version of how you overcome that. It took me 2 full years after I was fired to say the words, I was fired.
Yeah.
2 full years.
I get that.
And we would say things like, we had an exit, which was true. We had a separation. We left. All those things are true. But it took me 2 years to say the words, I was fired. Because it's embarrassing. It was humiliating. I had a lot of shame associated with it.
Yeah.
I had some guilt associated with it. I thought that it made me look not smart.
Yeah.
Not successful. Like, well, if I was really so good at what I did, how'd I get fired?
Yeah,
how'd that happen? Yeah. I made it think, well, what'd she do wrong? Right? Was there a scandal involved? It's like, whoa, I had all these things going around in my mind around why I wouldn't say it. And then I was about 2 years after, I was at an event, actually, an event we host for our clients at an accelerator event.
Oh, yeah.
And there's no good reason why that day. For me, I'm super in touch with God and in my faith. Not everyone is, and I understand that. But for me, I just felt like the Lord was telling me that day, He's like, I need you to say the words to this room of people. I need you to be brave enough to say the words, I was fired. And I remember sitting on the bar stool in the front of the room, and I said the words, and my husband kind of turns his head. He's like, I could just tell the look on his face. It's like, did she just say I was fired? Because it had probably been the first times I'd even said those privately.
Yeah.
Much less in a public setting. And I caught out of the corner of my eye one of our clients, tears started streaming down her face. And I thought, oh man, she feels sorry for me. I literally had that feeling. And I was like, I regret saying that. Like maybe, oh shoot, they're going to see me different. Like that's not good. Like, maybe I should have ran that by Rory before I said that. Like I had all these additional fears, and I just remember trying to make a quick exit one of the breaks so I didn't have to talk to anybody. Because I was like, I'm
getting out of the room
getting out of the room. Like I regret saying that. And she beelined after me. And she pulled me by the arm, and she was like, I have to talk to you. And tears are still streaming in her face. And she was like, you don't know this. I got fired last month. And I literally have chills talking about this. And she goes, I can't believe you just shared that story. That's what happened to me. And then I'm pretty sure we cried together for a minute. And I said, honestly, today's the first day I've been able to say that. And she was like, God put you in this room for me today because I have so much shame around what happened. And she goes, and I haven't had the courage to talk to anyone about it. I haven't even told my friends that I was fired because I'm so embarrassed.
Wow.
And something hit me in that moment that I was not reaching my person and I was not fulfilling my purpose because of my own ego and my own pride and my own need to look a certain way.
Yeah.
And it all came together for me with a person. And the moment that I shared it, and this, it's not a huge room, 50 people, but it was a big deal for me to say it. And then I just started sharing it a little bit more and a little bit more often. And now I guarantee you every single time that I'm willing to be truthful, that I'm willing to be honest, that I'm willing to be vulnerable and authentic. Someone comes up to me and they say, that happened to me too. I can't tell you how much shame I've had around that, or how I'm just looking for someone to show me that there's hope, that I'm going to make it, that there's something better for me, because I've been really wondering. And then it hit me, is that the hard parts of our story are what make us human.
Yes.
Because here's what I can also tell you. Never in my life, after a podcast or a keynote or an event, when all we're talking about is all the things that are working, has someone ever come up to me and said, AJ, can you please tell me about all your success? Right. Can you tell me about how amazing everything is? Can you please, more? Like, that does not happen. You know what? That does not happen.
No.
But every single time that I just tell the real ugly, hard truth of, sometimes it's just really hard. And it gets worse before it gets better. But I promise you, it is for your good.
Yeah.
And here's how I know, and I have a testimony, and I have 7 years of it, that the people, they just go, I just needed that. I needed to know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There's a life after this, and it could be a divorce, it could be a death, it could be a death of a job, a career, a dream, or a person. We go through hard stuff.
Yeah.
And people want to know I'm not alone in it.
That's right.
They want to know that there is hope, and that there's a better outcome than what they think is possible.
Yeah.
But we have to be willing to share the hard stuff, because that's what people relate to.
Yeah.
That's when they go, I'm not alone. And that's how you find your people.
That's right.
That's how you find your people. You're not going to find your people touting all the successes and all the amazing stuff that you've done. Like, no offense, nobody really cares.
They really don't.
They really don't.
Yeah.
Now, they're good for media. It's
Right.
good for credibility boosters. But when it comes to real, authentic human connection, that ain't how it happens.
Yes.
It happens in the ugly. It happens in the hard. It happens in the rock bottom moments.
Yeah. That's the brands I'm attracted to. You know, I think about, as you're sharing that, I'm like, those are the people over longevity. It's not like a quick, Insta famous, and then they're in and out, and you're like, well, that was great, but there's no substance. And so as people are listening to this, I love there's like a foundation now. We've humanized them. They start to connect. Let's talk about building a brand, because this is where you specialize. And I love this. As someone's listening to this, I'm like, okay, like, how does all this now tie into, like, I want to go build this brand thing you talk about, and okay, I'm most powerfully positioned to serve this person, and like all this stuff's really cool. And I think about today, brands, to me at least, are evolving with AI and a lot of things happening there. But what are some of the core tenets people should know about building a brand today?
Yes.
That actually matters.
Yes. So I think one is that a brand is not visual identity. A brand and branding are two very different things. And I think a lot of people get confused with a personal brand is somehow tied to a business model, right? Oh, yeah. They think, you have to be a speaker or an author or a thought leader or a podcaster to build a personal brand. So we hear that a lot. The other thing is people think, if I have a personal brand, I have to have a course. Or I have to be on social media, or having a brand means it's a website and it's about colors and logos and iconography and typography, and it's not, right? They think, I have to build a huge audience. You don't, right? None of that. And I think the first mistake that people think is that they have to build a personal brand. That's the first mistake. The truth is, you already have a personal brand. It's just, is it the one you want? And are you even aware of what it is? And this comes back to our definition of a personal brand, which is the formalization, digitization, and monetization of your reputation. We all have a reputation. Oh, yeah. Like for anyone who's listening, or even you, like as you're sitting here right in front of me, like if I were to ask you, who of your best friends would you say is the biggest foodie? Like if you were going to go find a new hot restaurant in your hometown, who would you call?
Oh, my sister-in-law.
Okay. She has a reputation.
Yep.
Right? And it's like, whether she wants it or not, whether it's intentional or not.
She knows all the places.
She's got a reputation, right?
Yeah.
And I use those everyday examples because most of us, like if you had a sudden diagnosis and you're going to have heart surgery, are you going to the Google to type in best heart surgeon in Nashville? No, you're not. No. What are you going to do? You're going to call up some friends and get some referrals and word of mouth of who knows who, and you're going to call trusted people that you know are healthy, health conscious, connected to the medical community.
That's right.
You're going to network your way in there.
Yeah.
You're not going to Yelp, right?
No.
We're not going to we're not doing that. And I think that's really important. But when it comes to business, we forget. And we somehow think that attracting a bunch of strangers on the internet is how we build a business. That's how we grow a brand. And it's like, no, friends, That is not how it starts, and that's not how it grows. And contrary to what internet marketers would tell you today, most business still happens by word of mouth, by referral, especially high-end ticket item things. But even as something as simple as shampoo, I'm asking my girlfriends, I'm like, I cannot find a good shampoo for my life. What do you use? What do you use? What do you use?
Yeah.
And it's because there's so much noise. And what we're really looking for today are trusted resources, trusted human beings, not AI, human beings that can help us filter the noise. But that means you have to have trust, right? So a lot of us make the mistake of thinking we don't have one. Well, let's be clear, you do. You just may not know that you have one, or it may not be the one that you want.
That's right.
Because it takes intentionality. People become to know you based on what you talk about, where you spend your time, where you spend your money, what you research. It's curated either intentionally or by default.
Yes.
And what we're saying is the art of personal branding is the intentionality that you put behind becoming known for the thing that you want to be known for. Now, that's important in business or not, right? Or not. We specifically do it for the business community, right? We're doing it for people who have a message to share, an impact they want to make, growing their income, growing revenues. So we do it in the business world, but it applies either way. And I think that's the most important misconception that people have. And then the second is thinking it's all this stuff that it's not. It's not a business model, because a personal brand is not what you do. It's who you are. It is all your past experiences, your struggles, your wins, your victories, your losses. It's everything you've learned. It's everything you've been through. And we take all of that and we figure out what's the through line, right? Everything that's happened in your life, who you've met, what's happened to you, what you've done, everything. And we go, there's a common theme in all of our lives. There's a divine design to all of us if we just pay attention to it. But that takes time and a lot of inner work and a process. And a lot of people like to skip that work and they want to get to the fun stuff because it's fun to see the stuff. And what we say is like, well, before you can get to the outer stuff, you got to work on the inner stuff. Because what we believe is that the best personal brands in the world are the ones that are evergreen. And what we mean by that is they're evergreen in the sense of that it doesn't matter what's happening in the economy or in the market. The message goes on for a lifetime, right? And fear, right? Fear is something that lots of people that we work with go, I solve the problem of people who struggle with their inability to move forward because they're stuck in fear, right? But here's what's amazing about a personal brand. All of us could go, hey, let's just make this up. We're all business coaches. We're all life coaches, helping people overcome their fear, right? But most of us are only going to be able to hear that message from a very specific and unique frequency, right? A lot of you listening are going to jive with what I'm saying because you're like, we're on the same frequency here. A lot of you are listening are going, I don't jive with you. We're not on the same frequency. So we can all have these very similar quote unquote messages, these problems that we solve, these personal brands, but they're never going to be the same because no one has the same life story.
That's right.
And it's your story is a part of your uniqueness. No one in the world has your DNA. No one is you. That is your superpower. No one has your mind, your thoughts, your life experiences. No one. And that's what makes you naturally unique right as you are. You don't have to try to be unique. You already are. There is no other you, right? That doesn't exist. There is no other AJ Vaden. There is no other person like me. That is already my uniqueness. It is already my superpower. It's in how are you deploying that into becoming known for the thing that you want to be known for and doing the thing that you want to do. And that is, I think, where a lot of people struggle is they think, oh, I have to build a course. I have to do this. And it's like, that's not it.
It's a different game.
It's a different game.
Let's talk about this dichotomy. As I'm listening to you and I'm thinking about this, is like what people want to be known for. And it's almost like this future self. And then it's almost like you're talking about the inner work and who they actually are today. There's almost this disconnect. There's almost a dichotomy happening of like, well, this is what I want to be known for, and this is who I want to be. I want to be a life coach. I want to be a fitness coach. I want to be whatever it might be that they do. Like, I want to speak on stages and write a book and all. But then there's like the reality of like, well, here's where I am today. And I always find like people want to leapfrog into here. How do you balance those two together because it's real. I've gone through it and I've heard it over and over. So coming to the expert.
Yeah, so I'll give you a great example. You interviewed a mutual friend of ours earlier today, and I know she won't mind me saying this. Her name is Lacey Newman.
She's a rock star.
Right? She is a rock star.
Yeah.
Lacey still is, but in her former life was predominantly known as a real estate agent.
Yes.
Now, Lacey is still a real estate agent today. And when she started working with Brand Builders Group, she really had a dream of being less of a real estate agent and more of a thought leader for real estate agents, right?
Yeah.
So she has a real estate mastermind today. Yeah. She has a coaching program. She has courses. But I want you to pay attention to the parallel of she didn't leave her who. And that's what happens with a lot of people. They think in order to be this new thing, they have to completely bail and abandon ship everything that they built.
Yeah.
And that's the second biggest mistake that we see is that you try to start completely over. Why would you do that?
No.
Right? And it's going, no, she was a real estate agent predominantly. Now she's just serving real estate agents. She didn't leave her core because that's who she used to be.
That's right.
Right? And so a lot of people think, okay, I'm a dentist today. If I want to be a speaker, I need to get out of the day-to-day business of my dental practice, and I need to go all in on being a speaker. And it's like, well, yes and no. Yes, in the sense of you can start speaking. No, in the sense of, well, how are you going to connect to anyone in an audience if all you've done for the last 30 years is run your dental practice? What if instead you said, I'm going to start speaking for associations that cater to other dentists or dental practice owners?
Yes.
Right? So it's combining those two. And that's what bridges the gap from where you are to this, maybe this person that you want to become, is you've got to start where you are.
Yeah.
If you want to start talking about helping people heal from trauma, back to Lacey, I bet a lot of real estate agents have past trauma. They're humans too. And we think, well, I can't work in real estate anymore because now I'm talking about, surviving trauma. And it's like, well, those people too, right? And that's because they're focused on the what, not the who.
Oh, that's a big distinction.
It's a very big distinction. And that's why people think they have to stop one thing and start another. They're focused on the what, not the who. And if you just realize whatever you've been doing, whoever you've been serving, also probably struggle with this thing that you want to be known for in the future.
Yes.
It's like, but we disconnect them and we think that they're not connected. I'll give you another really quick example from a conversation I had here recently of this amazing woman who has this knitting following, knitting, crocheting, but knitting on YouTube. And she has built and amassed a massive following of people who watch her and learn from her how to do this very specific thing and all the things that she creates.
Yeah.
And when I say hundreds of thousands of followers that she has curated over the years, is massive, right? And really what she wants to do is talk to trauma survivors.
Wow.
Because she is one. And when we were talking about your most and best well-positioned to serve the person you once were, what she heard is, well, what does that have to do with knitting? And what we tried to help her understand is, well, why did you start knitting? And she was like, well, it helped me through my trauma. And I'm like, come again? She goes, it helped me heal from my trauma. And I'm like, then why don't you just start talking about your trauma while you're knitting? You don't have to leave what you're doing. You don't have to leave this audience you built. You don't have to go build something entirely new. What you just have to do is start seeing everything through the lens of what you were called to do, what you were called to talk about. That doesn't mean you have to abandon ship, right? If you are, back to this dentist example, right? If you really feel like, I really want to spread the message of hope. I'm just making stuff up.
Sure.
Do you not think the people in your chair need hope? Right? And so it's a recalibration of, I can serve the people who I have right now in a new way.
Yeah.
All I have to do is start talking about it. And that's step one. All you have to do right where you are right now, whoever's listening, is you just start talking about it.
Yeah.
You help people know who you are by actually talking about it. That's it. I know it seems so simple. People want to make it more complicated, but it's not. All you have to do to become the person that you want to be known for and attract the audience that you want one day is to start talking about it right now to the audience that's right in front of you. That's it.
Seems so simple, and people probably look like, too simple. AJ, it's too simple for it. But I'll give you an example. Like I've been doing that with my fitness journey and some of that. And I'm like, and I started to realize you guys helped me with this too. It's like people in the mortgage space are stressed.
Yes.
There's a lot of pressure. If they don't work out, they have no energy, which means they don't make all their sales. If they don't have their health, they don't have their wealth or anything. And I just started thinking, I was like, it was a quick reframe for me. And I'll just share that for people listening. It's like that became this outlet for me of if I'm not mentally and physically strong for my family and in business, I noticed this correlation of like lack of energy meant lack of sales. More energy, more sales. Like, okay. And so I started sharing these things. Wouldn't you know, people in mortgage and real estate actually really want to get in shape too.
It's amazing.
And the ones that were in shape were like, dude, this is cool. What's your workout? What do you know, then you just vibe on others. So I only share that because like going through that myself of like, how does this connect to mortgage? This is going to be weird. I'm like, people are going to think like, why are you doing this? I'm like, well, because the connections, the people. And I know that was me, stressed out, burned out, and like, man, my health wasn't there. And that's not good.
And that's how you have the most intimate impact because you're like, when I was you, here's what was happening. And it's back to, if people just focus on the who, not the what.
Yeah.
They think if I'm going to talk about fitness, well, I can't talk to mortgage people. Why not? And that's where we have to calibrate.
Yes.
It's about the who. And whatever I want to talk about, these people suffer from it too. Oh, yeah. They experience it too. And that's the same in any industry, in any job, no matter who you are, what you're doing, there is a connection right where you're at with who you have access to. Even if you're not building your personal brand outside of a business, because I think a lot of people think, oh, well, I'm an employee in an organization. This doesn't apply to me. Yes, it does.
That's me too.
I mean, absolutely. Yes, it does. It's like, if you think you're going to get noticed and promoted, if people don't know who you are, they can't trust you. No. Absolutely not. No. If you're in sales, right? This is all about word of mouth and referrals and reputation.
That's right.
It doesn't matter if you're a frontline employee in a large organization or you're an entrepreneur or you're a solopreneur. This applies no matter what your role is. This is about your reputation of what do you want to be known for. And you might be climbing the corporate ladder or starting your own thing. It applies 100% the same. Yeah. And we all have an audience. Some of us have colleagues.
That's right.
Others have employees. Others have an audience. Yeah. It's all the same.
Yeah, I love that. And even making a move recently, I had talked to you guys some of this about that and with our brand advisor, and I was like, they're making this move and what to do, and that transferability of like, hey man, when you move, to your point, if there's no CRM, there's no list, if you don't have this online presence and what's there, it's really hard to move forward. And so I love how you talk about this digitization of your reputation.
Yep.
For people that are thinking about that today and they're like, hey, I really don't have much on social. And like, I've just been kind of a secret agent out in the world. That was me years ago. How should they start to approach that? And they're listening to this going, okay, I know my who now. I know the stuff I'm going to share and all that. Like, now what? Now what do I do?
Okay, so you said it. It's your who. So then you have to ask yourself, where do I find my who?
I love that.
It all goes back to who. Everything we're going to talk about, I'm going to go right back to who is your who? Who's your person?
Yeah.
Because you have to ask yourself, one, are they online? Some of yours, they're not. And so the question begs, how much time, money, energy, and resources should you invest into being online? Now, we're in a day where you need some digital presence.
Sure.
But do you need a full social media, plan? Do you need to be on all the platforms? Do you need all of this? That all goes back to, well, where does your who spend time?
Yes.
And if the answer is, well, I know they're online, well, then that's where you go. You go where your who is. And I think a lot of us think one of two things. One, they think that you need to be everywhere.
Yeah.
I just adamantly and fundamentally disagree with that. One, it's virtually impossible unless you have a full team.
Yeah.
And a lot of us are comparing our step 1 to someone else's step 1,000.
Oh,
Y'all, you're not Gary Vee. You don't have a team of 14 people and a film crew following you around. You're not Mr. Beast. We don't have those resources. That's not your business.
Right.
That's their business. And we think we have to have all those things. And the truth is, what you really need is an iPhone.
Yeah.
That's it. You need an iPhone and an account. Call it a day, team.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need all of that. Now, there's a season where, based on how your business is evolving, do you grow it? Do you advance it? Do you make it better? Is it more well-produced? Sure. But you don't need that.
Yeah.
There's a need and then there's a want. And a lot of us are chasing the want versus the need.
Yeah.
So you don't need to be everywhere. I think that's really important. Where you need to be is where your audience is. And they're not everywhere either. They're usually on a singular platform. And if you know your who well enough, then you know where it is.
Yeah.
And that's where you go and create. And I think this is an important distinction. Jasmine Star talks about this a lot, of where you consume and where you create. You need to pay attention to see if those are actually the same place. Because a lot of us just naturally create for the platform that we like to consume content on.
Yes.
And that's a big mistake. You think, oh, because it's the most popular, or that's what I go to. Wrong question. You're not making your content for you.
Yeah.
Right? That's not who you're making it for. I'm pretty sure. Right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Right? You're making it for someone else. So where does that person go to consume content? And you might love to consume content on YouTube or Instagram, but if that's not where your person goes, then don't worry about creating there.
Yeah.
Maybe they only consume on LinkedIn based on the demographics and psychographics of your person. So I think that's one. It's go all in on one platform. And that's based on where your who is. Assuming they're online.
Right.
Right? And I was like, don't forget the offline components of real life human beings all around you.
Yeah.
Don't forget the power of breaking bread and meeting people in person and the offline relationships. And if you're going to be online, then pick one platform that you can own, that you can put real intention and real focus to. You can do more later. You just don't need to start with it.
Agreed.
So I think that's a really, really big part of going, okay, I know my who and I know what I have to say. Now what, right? So it's pick a singular platform and then create content every day.
Yeah.
Create something every day. Video every day. And that's what I said. All you need is your phone.
Yeah.
Right? You just need to put it on selfie mode and talk. Yeah. Right? Answer a question, talk to your person, but do it every single day. And that's where most of us, we do it for 3 months. We go, well, nothing's happening. And I'm like, well, do it for 3 years and then come back.
Yes.
And then come back.
Yeah.
Sales is fast. Marketing is slow. Sales is fast. Marketing is slow. Don't confuse the two. Yeah. If you need sales, focus on offline.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you shouldn't be focusing on marketing, but it has to be secondary. It has to be in the background.
That's right.
If you need to make sales, if you need to make your business run, then you need to focus on offline, human-to-human relationships. Marketing is slow. There is a slow ramp to it. It happens over time. This concept of, it took me 20 years to be an overnight success, that's marketing.
That's right.
That's marketing. It is slow, it is consistent, and eventually it works.
Yes.
But only if you stay consistent.
Yeah.
And I think that's back to, it's like people just don't have enough patience.
Yeah.
I say people, I'm in that bucket too, right? It's like, I want it done right now.
Yeah.
Like I want it to
Move
work
fast.
right now. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
This is a test of patience. This is a test of endurance.
Yeah.
And everybody gear up, buckle up. And I would encourage people, don't even look at the metrics for a year. If you're launching a podcast, just get a podcast out every week. Don't even look at the metrics for a year. If you're doing social media, get something out every day. Don't even look at it for a year, because that's not what it's about right now. You just don't have enough content to have the data. You just don't have enough.
Yeah.
Period. But you just have to play the consistency game. The person who's most consistent wins. The end.
Yes.
And the person who puts the most money behind it.
Yeah.
Right? So
that
those are the
helps.
two things. But if we're going to do it organic, it's consistency wins over the long haul.
Yeah.
It's just over the long haul.
Yes.
So I think that's really important. And then the last thing I would add to that is this whole belief that you have to have millions of followers to make millions of dollars.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just not true. I have 11,000 followers on Instagram. I don't think I've ever had a collective following of more than 25,000. Ever. And yet, we do pretty good.
Yeah.
We have a healthy 8-figure business.
Yeah.
And
a lot of great clients.
A lot of great, amazing clients like you, like amazing clients who have way more followers than we do. But that's not where our focus is.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't define our success by how many followers we have.
Can't deposit them.
Or by how many dollars in our banking account. And I think that's the other point. It's like, you don't have to have millions of dollars to make a massive impact.
Yes.
You don't have to have millions of followers. You don't have to have millions of dollars. You may want that.
Yeah.
But just remember, it's like, I believe that money follows service. And the more that we serve people, the money follows.
Yeah.
I said, if we just focus on serving who's right in front of us,
Yeah.
then your audience will demand that you get bigger.
That's
They'll
right.
demand that you charge more because of supply and demand. We're just focused on growing too fast instead of growing deeper. And if all of us would take a step back and go, I don't need more clients. I need to serve the ones I have in a deeper and meaningful way. One of our big sayings is the best form of marketing on the planet is a changed life.
Yes.
And if you change someone's life, they can't help but tell people about you.
Yeah.
They just can't help it.
That's right.
And that's what we have to focus on. That's how you grow your income. That's how you grow your impact. And your followers, they grow as a byproduct of that.
Yes.
And even when they don't, you just focus on serving the ones you've got.
Yeah.
I have 11,000 followers that I love dearly. I may never have more than that. I don't need more than that.
Yeah.
Because I don't. We couldn't serve 11,000 people at Brand Builders Group if we wanted to.
Right.
So I'm not trying to attract hundreds of thousands or millions of people on the internet. I'm trying to serve the people who have found me in the most meaningful and impactful way that I can. I'm not trying to grow wider. I'm trying to grow deeper.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. People have to rewind this because that was like a lot sandwiched in there. I'm going, that is so good. That is so good. And that some of it was out of Wealthy and Well Known because I'm thinking, I'm like, oh, I've read that. I've seen this. And it's lessons. If you're listening, you haven't picked up the book, we're going to give you a link. You got to get the book. You got to get the book, which I've got to talk about because I got a little preview. We ordered, a bunch of copies to give out to people.
Which we're so appreciative of. Thank you.
Oh, we love it. I mean, I would support you guys, even if it wasn't as awesome as it is. I would still support you. But I will say, it is that good because I've been giving it to friends, and always the true testimony is like, I love it. And then when you give a friend a gift, and you're like, man, I love this, and you give it to them, and you're like, oh, they love it as much as I do. And they do. So I just want to say that. So if you haven't got the book, you need to get it. We'll give you the audio link as well. You can download that for free, but you got to get the book. Let's talk about this because you've dropped some principles and things there, and people are going, wealthy and well-known. So people might struggle with that and the connection and like, well, yeah, I want to be wealthy. Yeah, I want to be well-known. I want to do all these things. And like, you should get the book. Just put it that at the end. Let's talk about this because what does that even mean? Wealthy and well-known. I know from reading it, like you guys have some definitions, you have some principles, things I'm going, you got to read it to get this, but what does that mean to you?
Yeah, and it's interesting that you bring that up. Honestly, I don't think we realized how polarizing that was going to be for a lot of people.
It has been.
It has been, and we've gotten some of that feedback, and I think that's because those words have fallen out of principle in our culture of what is wealth and what does it mean to be well known.
Yes.
And I think people are associating that with riches and fame. And that is not it.
Nope.
And I can just tell you on the wealthy perspective, Rory and I spent a large part of our early professional lives thinking that wealthy meant we needed more money.
Yeah.
And if we had more money, then we would have more freedom and we'd have more time. Yeah. And when we had more money and we didn't have more freedom and we didn't have more time, we were like, okay, that wasn't it. We got it wrong. Oh, we need more time. If we just had more time, then we would have more freedom. And we just need more margin. We need more white space. These were years of conversations of how do we have more margin on our calendars? How do we have more white space? And I wouldn't say we ever had necessarily enough because I don't think you ever do have enough when that's what you're after.
Yeah.
There's never enough money. There's never enough time. Those things just don't exist. But when we had more time, we realized that's not it either. Like we still have this sense of emptiness or longing or more that it wasn't being satisfied. And what we realized and how we define wealthy is wealth isn't an amassing of money or time. It's an amassing of peace.
Yes.
And you don't have to have money to have peace. And you don't even have to have more time to have peace. You can have peace right now, right where you are.
Yeah.
And I think peace for us has come from knowing that we're living out our purpose.
Yeah.
And we feel that. And yes, some days feel like work. Sure. There's jobs I have to do that feel like work sometimes.
Yeah.
But overall, I don't feel like I'm working.
Yeah.
And that's how I know that I'm living in alignment. That's how I know I'm living in God's purpose for my life is it's a feeling of I have peace of knowing I'm running the race that I was called to run. And I'm trying to run it really well.
Yeah.
Some days better than others.
Yes.
But I feel like I'm running the race that God laid out for me.
Yeah.
And there's peace in that. And it's great when you make money. And it's great when that has more time. But I don't need that to have peace anymore.
Yeah.
And so that to us is, this whole concept of peace is the new profit. And you have peace of knowing that you're living out your calling. And that's where purpose comes from. You're not going to find your purpose in dollars and open calendars.
No.
You find it in knowing that you're serving people.
Yes.
And that's where wealth comes from. And so a lot of this concept of what does it mean to become wealthy is to know that you have purpose.
Yeah.
And when you fulfill it, there's peace. And when you have
Yeah.
peace, you are wealthy.
Yeah.
You're
Amen.
abundantly wealthy. And then the well-known part is addressing that fame component.
Yeah.
And a lot of what we just said, it's like, this isn't about having the whole world know you who you are.
Nope.
It's about making sure that you realize right now, today, as you sit there, as you listen to this, you are already perfectly and wholly well known.
Yeah.
You are well known by your Creator. You're well known by God. You are His child. And again, this is from me who has a faith-oriented view on life, but it's knowing like you are well known. And you don't have to be known by a bunch of strangers on the internet. That if you have a few intimate, real-life human relationships, you are well known, more than many. And if you, like, and I just ask people this, if you just fast forward, not to be too grim here, but to the last day of your life, right? And today's the last day. If you knew in your core that you helped at least one person change their life, you put them on a positive trajectory.
Yeah.
If you knew that you just helped one person, for most of us, that would be a life well lived. That's being well known.
Yeah.
It's well known for the thing that you can do and serving the person that you can serve, but ultimately knowing that you don't have to be known by anyone to already be well known.
Yes.
And it's a
Amen.
it's a reconfiguration of how we view fame
Yeah.
and riches, and turning that into identity and peace.
I love it. And I'm glad you did the reframe, because I wanted people not to give them too much in the books. I'm going through it, and I love Peace is the New Prophet and all these things, but it does get tactical. There are principles in there that I'm just going, man, you need to read. I wish I had this years ago. That's when you know it's a great book.
We
is
did
when,
too.
You're like, man. But what's cool is that you share so much of your story and your journey through it, that you're serving those people through each chapter I'm going through. And when I got to read it early, I'm like, oh, that's me. Oh, I wish I knew that. Oh, I'm doing some of that, but and you're always just going, where am I in my journey?
Yeah.
And you look at it. So this has been incredible. I got one final kind of question to land the plane of, if somebody's listening to all these things here and they're like, okay, I've got all this stuff and I want to move forward and all that. And I am always thinking of next steps. I love to give people like actionable things when they leave. And I know we're going to send out the free brand call, so you guys need to book that. I'll put the plug for it. But what are you working on right now for you? Because I love to insights into people over the next year. What's AJ focused on? Now that you know these things, you've got this best-selling book, you've got all these things, where are you going? Because I think in that journey, we can all kind of listen some wisdom and learn where you're going.
Oh, that's good. I've actually been asked this question a lot here lately of, what do you think the AJ looks like post this book launch and post this book? And we're so grateful that it hit the New York Times and was #2 on the USA Today, and those things are great. And I hadn't really thought about that, and so I've been asked this question a lot of like, what does post book BBG look like, and post book AJ look like? And my honest truth is not that different. I think that through the process of writing this book and over the process of the last 7 years, getting Brand Builders Group to where it is, we've gotten so clear, so clear that we are doing exactly what we've been called to do. And my goal is just to do it better and to do more of what we're already doing. It's not a fancy answer. It's not an exciting answer, to be honest. But I feel like we have spent the last 7 years laying a foundation for our company, of getting our content in line, finding the right people, building community. And right now, we want, like for us, as myself as an entrepreneur, a business owner, a wife, a mom, a friend, what I want to do is I just want to do more of what we're doing right now, and I just want to do it better. Like I want it to be better than it is, and I think that happens through fine-tuning. Probably this is where my uniqueness is really starting to shine, in the refining and the fine-tuning and the tweaking. If I was going to say, if there was one thing that we're not doing today that I think this book will be a launching pad for, is hosting larger scale events.
I can see that.
I love events. I love the power of the energy in a room. And all of the events we host, as you know, are smaller in nature. They're intimate in nature. I would love to see a new era post-book that is larger events, hundreds of people, maybe thousands of people, of helping mission-driven messengers find community and know that they're not crazy for chasing this thing that they want, and that they're not weird because they have a message to share or they want to write a book, and helping people find community and a support system of, I can celebrate your successes as much as you do.
Yes.
Like I want to build that across the country to help people who feel called to share a message, build a platform to do it. And I think larger scale events would be one thing that I think could be possible, that maybe this is a launching pad for.
Oh, you heard it here first. That's cool. I love it. And as you're sharing that, literally, AJ, I'm thinking for everybody listening out there, and then go through the success and the 8-figure business and the best-selling book and all the things you guys have done. And success is not a destination that a lot of us think. And you talked about peace is the new profit. And so as I'm listening, what a blessing it is, because it's like for everybody that's building towards something, it's like when you get there, there's still refinement. There's still work to be done. And I love that they can hear that from you directly of like, yeah, we may have had all these things. You can see all the awards. That's cool. But there's still work to be done.
I've been telling our team for months, just remember, this is a race to the starting line.
Ooh.
This is not the finish line, friends. This is a race to the starting line. And there is a new era of new expectations, of improvements and refining and better communication. And it's a relentless pursuit of excellence.
Love that.
And it's you're right. It's not a destination.
No.
Right? There isn't some, we've arrived.
No.
This has been a race to the starting line. And it's been a 7-year practice run. And we've just begun the race.
It's wild to think. I started, fumbling around with a personal brand and posting online almost 7 years ago. And so when you were saying that in 2018, I thought back, I was like, what a crazy journey, and like watching what you guys have built and knowing my friends that are in here and myself, like over 3 years. I hope more people that are listening realize the power beyond what they see online and all that stuff, and realize like you can transform your life in the right room and around the right people, and doing this work is allowing you to serve that person.
100%.
So you're awesome.
Thank you.
I think that is your competitive edge. And I'll say the event is going to be so cool that you guys do larger events. Is I listen to like the owner operator and what you do to be able to share that with more people. I think that's I always think about what is people's competitive edge, right? And I'm listening to you and it's like you problem solve, you see this, and like you said, the jigsaw and like all those things, putting it together. Some people can't see that, and you do, and then you help other people do that in their own life.
Yeah.
It's been awesome.
A part of it is having fun.
Yes.
And I just think that if you're in business today and you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong.
Okay.
So how do we add some fun back into your business? It's not supposed to be a chore.
No.
It's not supposed to be punishment.
No.
In my opinion, work is a gift.
Amen.
Not everyone gets to do it.
Right.
And if we have the opportunity to do it and create, then there's a great responsibility to make sure it's really good, serves a lot of people, including yourself.
Yes.
And it's like, have some fun with it.
Oh man, that's what I always say. Life's too short to not have some fun.
Amen.
Yes. Okay, guys. Hey, this is one of my friends here. So you're going to have to, if you're not connected with AJ, you got to connect up with her. If you haven't bought the book, I'm going to give you a couple things that are going to help you in your life. One, just reach out to me. I've got a few extra copies. First few people that reach out, I'll mail you one. I'll actually just send you one for free. Just send me your address. You're going to need to download the free audiobook. We've got a link for that we'll include. And if you're not connected with Brand Builders Group, you want to do that. I'll tell you the first step I did several years ago. I didn't know what I was doing with my brand. I was lost. I was told to do all these things. I'd fumbled through it. I'd spent money on things that didn't work. That might be you. And then I reached out to Brand Builders. I did a free call, just like I'm going to invite you to do. We'll send you the link. And that opened up this now relationship for over 3.5 years. If that tells you anything, I'm still in it. I'm bringing friends along because I know the transformation that happens, not just in your own life, but in people around you that are counting on you to tell your story and for you to serve them. So join me on that journey. And then I'd also ask you this. We do the podcast to inspire you, to motivate you, but really to equip you in life and to put you out in the world and use those God-given talents and gifts you've been given. And so if this has resonated with you, leave us a review. Let us know how we did. Let us know you enjoyed the show. This has been an awesome one. So you should be able to leave a comment pretty easily. Give us a 5-star review. That'd be cool. And the last thing is share it with a friend. I know you've got friends in your life that could benefit from this. If you're already on the journey or you've got someone that needs the book, any of that, share it with your friends. You could be the one that helps them on their journey. So you've heard AJ's competitive edge here. Just inviting you. Find your competitive edge. Go use that in the service of other people, and we'll make the world a better place. So until then, we'll catch you on the next episode. See you guys.